Welcome everybody to our weekly Soul Changes Lives webinar. My name is Debbie Perez Cockburn. I'm your moderator as always every week. This week we do have a little bit of a change in our program. Usually the first week of the month we have our founder and president of Soul Naturals, Mr. Greg Halliday, but Greg could not make it with us this week. So it's going to be the Debbie show today. I am going to share the testimonial of my nephew's son who suffered, I say suffered, from autism, diagnosed by a doctor with autism. I will show you some videos of his before and after using Soul. It has taken a few years. I will narrate his story, and then I'm going to do a really quick tutorial on our NeuroIM program product, because it has helped me so much in my fall. Hi, Jaliva, welcome. And I'm just excited to be with you as always every week and share some information. As always, I'd like to remind everyone that I am not a medical doctor. I do not dispense medical information. I do not treat diseases or infirmities, but I do share my wealth of knowledge that I've acquired over the last 35 years in the natural health industry by sharing my personal experiences with herbs, particularly those that we use that I enjoy from Soul Natural products. And as I mentioned earlier, I'd like to share the testimonial of my nephew's son. His name is Hector. A few years ago, when I joined Soul, my nephew's wife called and said, Auntie Debbie, Hector is 3, almost 4. He doesn't speak. He's been diagnosed by the doctor as having autism. He is nonverbal and he's having a lot of problems. And I wanted to know if Soul could help me. And so I told her, I said, we can certainly get him on a program. 8.5, almost 9 years ago, when I first started with Soul, we did not have all the products that we have now. And so I will tell you the products that my nephew's wife used with him, but I'd like to start by sharing a video. And so I'm going to share my screen quickly, and I am going to show you a very short video. It's just about 10 seconds long of how Hector was before using Soul Naturals. So can everyone see the video on the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Hector,
Buddy,
come here.
Okay, so you saw there was sound in the video. He was trying to communicate. You see his mouth moving, but he was not verbal. The only thing he could do was flap his arms and shake his body. That's how it was every day. He'd go to the bus stop. That's what he would do. On the days that he was extremely frustrated, he would scream and cry. It would kind of bother all the other moms at the bus stop while he was with his older brother that you could hear calling him. And so they started on a Soul Naturals program. I call it the Soul Naturals journey. He has been using products for 8 years. He started by taking our Soul Vital product, which is the green drink pack. He was also using, and I had hoped that I had all my drink packets handy here. Here they go. And then he was also using the Cinemate drink. He used the ProBio IQ, and I'll tell you a little bit why. You would not even imagine that probiotics could help, but the probiotics were amazing help to him, because you know that if you have good gut health, then the brain health, it automatically improves. And this probiotic formula has red reishi mushroom in it, which we're going to talk about mushrooms today and how important they are for brain function. He was also using the adaptable product. He would take 1 capsule, little boy, but he's good at taking capsules. And he was using the SolFlex for inflammation, because if you know anything about brain health, when you have problems with the central nervous system, there's usually some kind of inflammation in the brain. And to top it off, he was also using our SolleMegas. So he used the omegas, the green drink, the red stick pack drink, so Soul Vital Sin Mate, the Verdazymes, the ProBio IQ, the omegas, and one of the oils that we had at the time, because we did not have the roll-ons, and I apologize, I don't have it, but it's part of the spa kit. So you can find it. It's called the Calm Soul Essential Blends Oil, Calm Oil. And so what they would do with the baby, with Hector at night, was they'd rub him down with a little 1 drop or 2 of the oil on his spine. They would put it in his bath as well, so he would calm down. And then at bedtime, he would take 2 ProBio IQ and 3 Verdazyme in the morning before he went to school. Oh, he loves the Soul Complete. We had just gotten the Soul Complete protein powder. And so in the morning, she would make him a shake with the Soul Complete protein. With she'd open up 1 or 2 capsules of the omega in there, and then she would give him his adaptable capsule. And so he would take that in the morning. He got used to putting the cinnamate on his oatmeal on the days that he didn't have a shake, a protein shake. He would do cinnamate on top of his oatmeal. And then as soon as he got home from school, he'd always have his green drink. Hector did that for years. He is now almost 12 or 13. And this past summer, we had a convention in Florida, and I'd like to show you a second video of Hector at convention and the interview that they did for him, because it really was outstanding what happened at that time for him. He was called on stage and he was interviewed on stage. So we're going to share this screen for you, and I hope you can hear this and see him.
Back again. Hector, I want you to tell us a little bit about what your favorite thing is about SolleChangesLives. What your favorite product is?
My favorite product is the green one.
The green one, huh?
Yeah.
How do you like to take it?
I like to take it by the drink.
Yeah, you like to drink it in the morning?
Yeah.
What does it do for you? How does it help you?
It helps you and it changes your life and it like heals your body and stuff.
Oh, I Tom, if I get the mic again.
All right, so Hector had a great time at convention. It was in Orlando, so of course it was fun, and he lived close by. I hope that you could hear him at the second video, the interview that he had done, you know, and in his own words, when they asked him what Soul had done for him, he said it changed his life. It was very hard for him, and it's still hard for me when I talk about it, because the physical therapist and the neural therapist and the linguist therapist, the only thing they suggested to her was a dry brush, and dry brushing is important. It's great, but it wasn't helping him. He had obsessive compulsive disorder. He was also diagnosed with autism. Now he is just your regular kid. And I wish I would have pulled up his YouTube channel, but he has his own YouTube channel where he talks about gaming, his favorite games. And so he's just a regular kid now. And in his own words, I hope that you were able to appreciate how much his life has changed. And you could probably hear Gwen Jenkins in the back, because Gwen and I were sitting at the table and you could hear Gwen say, "Oh, Debbie, he did so well." It was a surprise to us. Most people at Soul who know me have followed Hector's progress over the years. And so to see him at convention, I didn't expect them to bring him up on stage, but he was just so fearless. He just got up and he, you know, they just went up on stage and he talked about his experience and how it changed his life and how he still loves the green drink today. And so that's what Auntie Fave still sends him every month, because they call me Auntie Fave, by the way. But that's our testimonial. We also have a girl in our group. Her name is Maria, and I haven't gotten permission from her yet to share all of the details, but she is a girl who lived around the corner from me in Princeton, Texas. And she also had, her son had been diagnosed, and after 3 years of using Soul products, he was medically diagnosed as free of autism from his doctor. And so when I tell you, and when you hear a child say that Soul changes lives, it really does change lives. And all they've been doing is just the basics, you know, the complete protein, the enzymes, the probiotic, a little bit of essential oils for support, as well as some adaptable and the omegas. When you feed the brain what it really needs, and when you feed the gut what it really needs, the body will do what it was programmed to do perfectly when we were created. And so that's my short testimonial. And now I am going to do a very short, I hope a short presentation. I get long-winded, so just go like this to me on screen and just say, Debbie, you know what, let's move it. But let me share my screen with you. And I have a PowerPoint presentation on this wonderful product called NeuroIM. It is a 10 medicinal mushroom blend. And I hope that you can see this. This is a presentation that was written by Dr. Allison Caldwell Andrews. If you do not have this book, you can actually get one. I think, Ms. Jaliva, yours I think is on its way. So, but if you don't have one yet, you can still purchase one through your mentor or directly through Soul Naturals. And I do believe the book might be available on Amazon. So I'll go back and show you. The title is called 10 Medicinal Mushrooms, 10 Spectacular Mushrooms for Your Benefit. And what Dr. Andrews did in this presentation was she gathered all this information on these 10 mushrooms that we have put together in this blend called NeuroIM. And you'll see that some of the properties are repeated because medicinal mushrooms have very similar properties. And because these mushrooms in particular are also adaptogens, well, we will see many of the properties repeated on some of the slides. And why? Because it's Soul's philosophy that we are all individuals and we're all very different. And what might work for one may not work for the other. And so in adding variety of mushrooms to this blend, then we have a better chance of achieving the results that we want for our body. Having said that, for those of you who don't know, adaptogens are highly prized, highly valued herbs all around the world, but mostly studied by the Chinese, the Russians, and also in India through Ayurvedic medicine. And they have been shown to be safe for extended and daily use for people of all ages. And that's why I always feel so safe recommending our Soul products to younger children who may need help. I think if this formula had existed when Hector started having problems, it may not have taken that long to see such amazing benefits for him. But his mom did say that a month after starting to take the products, his physical therapist couldn't believe that he was no longer flapping his arms or having that difficulty speaking. And so he really started speaking within a month, and then it just got better from there. But anyway, let's go ahead and look at these mushrooms. Mushrooms do help the immune system work better. They also support good blood glucose, say that 3 times fast, which help the brain work faster and better. The mushrooms also provide protection for our nervous system, and every one of these mushrooms have been studied for their anti-cancer qualities than any other health benefit. And so just think that any kind of abnormal cell growth, you will want to get the extra support that you can from the NeuroIM formula. The first one is lion's mane. You can see on the screen, it is beautiful. I love the look of it. I've never eaten it, but this same girl, Maria, that I talked to you about earlier, about her son and her daughter who have the same problem, she actually told me that lion's mane was what helped her overcome breast cancer. Having had a personal scare with a lump on my breast as well, I doubled down on the NeuroIM. And I will tell you that that lump disappeared within about 2 months. So, and it's like completely gone now. Like 2 weeks ago, it still felt like a little grain of rice. It's no longer the size of a pea. Now it's no longer the size of a grain of rice. So I can tell you that these products really, really work. One of the things that I love about lion's mane is that first point that it says it's shown to improve mild cognitive impairment. I love the second point. It helps the nerve cells to function properly and repair themselves. For many, many years, science was telling us that there really wasn't a good way to repair nerve cells, but now we are seeing through research, especially done with these type of mushrooms, how that can be reversed. It is wonderful for destroying the inflammatory plaques in the brain that are significant in Alzheimer's patients, and it also reduces oxidative stress that's found in Parkinson's patients. It can reduce depression, help myelinate the neurons, and the myelin sheath is that longer part of the nerve cell. If you think of the nerve as a little head with an electrical cable, you know that all electrical cables are covered with plastic. Well, the myelin sheath is what covers that part of the nerve cells, and that helps to protect the nerve cells and function properly. So it helps with the myelin of the neurons. And it also helps to manage blood sugar and blood lipids. That's significant, because if you have a problem with high triglycerides or high cholesterol overall, then this is something that can really help, because it helps to manage blood lipids and it protects the liver. I love that it helps to help manage anxiety. So I love that. And then reduction in neuropathic pain. So if you know people who have neuropathy, particularly people who suffer from diabetes can have problems with neuropathy, this is a great product for it. So lion's mane. And the reason I started with lion's mane, and so did Dr. Allison, is because that is the first product listed on the label for NeuroIM, which means it is the mushroom in the highest concentration and quantity in this formula. And look at the last point. Helps with pancreatitis, Crohn's disease, hemorrhoids, nausea, etc. So I love that. Mesima is the one that looks like a wart on the tree. I call it the wart. It is great for anti-inflammatory properties. It is a high in antioxidant. It protects immune activity. It also helps manage inflammation and reduce allergic activity. So this is the time of year in Texas where we see that. We have a wonderful formula called SolClear SI, but if you wanted to try to just keep all of your products to a minimum, then NeuroIM would be one that could help you that way. I love it. It's part of our immunity program, because it's highly antimicrobial and antiviral. And at this time when the world is still worrying about pandemic, then this is a product that can really help because of the quantity of mesima in it. And it also helps to lower the blood sugar and help with insulin tolerance, right? Or insulin resistance. You will see those properties repeated in all of the mushrooms as we talk about them. You'll also see that it helps protect against scar tissue in the liver. This is important for people who have had or may suffer from cirrhosis, which is scarring of the liver tissue. Also, fatty liver can cause scarring like cirrhosis. You don't need to be dependent on alcohol to cause that scarring in the liver. Most people will get that through alcoholism, but fatty liver can also cause the same type of scarring. This is a great product to help with that. And it also protects the brain because it's so high in antioxidants. I also love that it can help the heart muscles and the pancreas. And so it is highly, highly protective. I would use it as a preventative. And if you know anyone who has overused NSAIDs, like something like naproxen, right, to fight inflammation due to arthritis. And I know a lot of doctors like to recommend over-the-counter non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. That's what an NSAID is. Naproxen is one of the most common ones, and it can be overused. It can protect the gut from that damage. So that's important to note. That would be a wonderful just mushroom to have just if you took it by itself, right? Look at turkey tail. Isn't this the prettiest thing you've ever seen? I love it. You know it's high in antioxidants because of all the colors. It is primarily known for 2 polysaccharide peptides that are known to destroy cancer cells. That's important. So NeuroIM is not just going to protect the nervous system or the immune system, but it's going to help the immune system function properly so that it can battle that growth, abnormal cell growth that can happen when there's cancer spreading. It also helps the gut health by suppressing the growth of the harmful bacteria, and that's important. And as the others, it decreases insulin resistance and lowers blood sugar. What I love about these mushrooms in particular, like all adaptogenic herbs, it doesn't just lower blood sugar, it helps to modulate. So they are immune modulating. They'll help the immune system try to reach homeostasis. It will try to help the circulatory system reach homeostasis. It will also try to help the endocrine system reach homeostasis. So if it needs homeostasis, if it needs to increase activity, then it will help it to increase or to lower, depending on what the body needs. I love this last point. Look at this. Has been used as a treatment for chronic hepatitis, upper respiratory infections, urinary infections, digestive tract infections, and helps the immune system. Shiitake. Don't we love shiitake mushrooms and maitake mushrooms? I love them in my miso soup. I love them when I'm making a chicken soup if I'm not feeling well, but they are quite expensive. So I love that I can take them in a capsule. They are high in beta glucans. These shiitake mushrooms are especially powerful for the immune system because of these beta glucans, the lentinin, particular the lentinin beta glucan. And it also helps destroy virus and bacteria. It's high in antioxidant effects. And look at the last point. I love this. It quickly absorbs heavy metal and cadmium. How hard is it to get rid of heavy metals in our diet and stuff? And shiitake mushroom can do that for you. So this would be a great product to use because it will naturally detox the body of heavy metals. It also reduces intestinal inflammation. It helps with atopic dermatitis, helps to lower blood triglycerides, and it can stop dental decay. I love that because I hate going to the dentist. I am terrified. I have some great dentist friends, but I hate going to the dentist. I hated it when I was a little girl because I would get cavities, but now I haven't gotten any cavities in I don't know how many years. So I love that I can take this product. And if you were looking for something that's high in B vitamins, well, this is one that will help you, and it will help the liver and brain function because it is very high in vitamin B. Here's chaga. I love chaga. I like to look at it because it reminds me of light and fire emanating. And I love that because when I think of lighting a fire in my brain, I love that there's light and that my brain is very active. And this can only happen if your gut is good. And so this chaga in particular promotes gut health. And it has, like I said, great antibiotic qualities. But if you notice the third point, it says it can protect against Alzheimer's and protects the brain through antioxidants. And as always, like the others, it can help with the insulin resistance. All right, we'll continue looking at chaga, hair growth. It's great for relieving pain, can help relieve fatigue. It's wonderful as an anti-inflammatory all by itself. Look at the first point on there. It says reduces damaging inflammation and may help treat colitis and pancreatitis. So I love that. Maitake is a beautiful mushroom. It looks like a cluster of mushrooms together. It's also prized for its beta glucan content. It's antiviral, antimicrobial. It is also known for increasing the number of immune cells. And look at the fourth point, you guys. This is so important. Can help slow or stop tumor growth and protects healthy cells from becoming cancerous cells. I love that. And it helps with chronic fatigue, vaginal yeast overgrowth, and uterine fibroids. You can read more about the maitake in that book. It's got some wonderful points. There was one I wanted to show you here. Okay, so when combined with shiitake, they have a synergistic effect that strongly stimulates both the cellular and humoral immune system divisions. That means that it can help the immune system as well as your mental health at the same time. And I love that. And it stimulates neurite outgrowth, resulting in better brain health, and stimulates nerve growth factor. This is important. Why? Because science for years was telling us that we could not grow new brain cells. And this study proves that we can. Okay, so TREMELLA, I love TREMELLA. It looks like cabbage to me. It's anti-inflammatory, high in antioxidants, and it promotes peripheral nerve regeneration. Again, people who suffer from nerve damage, especially in the feet and in the fingers and the extremities, if you have diabetes, this is wonderful for that, okay? And it can help regulate gene expression in obesity and diabetes. So I love NeuroIM because it helps me. I sometimes tend to be a stressful eater, but because it helps me with stress, and we'll see when we talk about cordyceps, it helps me with the amount of cortisol that is in my body, I can actually maintain a good healthy weight. It's used in China to treat exhaustion. It's through the neurite outgrowth, it can protect the brain neurons, especially in cases of Alzheimer's, can help lower blood sugar and cholesterol, and improves memory. I love that. Here's the beautiful reishi mushroom. This is the red reishi that I said is also in the ProBio IQ. I love it because it can fight infection because of the cytokines. It can help protect neurotransmitters from being destroyed because of sometimes we suffer from stress and we have a lot of inflammation. It's a wonderful anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antiviral. It is liver protecting, so it's a great hepatic protector, and it heals gastric ulcers and restores mucus in the and prostaglandin to normal levels. And that's important for women because if prostaglandins are not normal, then we have problems with fibromyalgia, excessive cramping, endometriosis, and those things are important. AGARICUS BLAZEI was new to me. This one destroys invading cells. It helps inhibit inflammation, lowers blood pressure. I love that, both systolic and diastolic. So if you suffer from high blood pressure, why get on a high blood pressure medication, which will then cause you to take medication to protect your kidneys? Then you have to take a medication to relieve excess liquid from your body. And then they put you on certain vitamins and other minerals because when you're taking medication for your blood pressure, that's what happens, right? It destroys everything else. This one can help lower that high blood pressure, both the systolic as well as the diastolic. And it can help lower blood serum values for people who have suffered from the hepatitis C virus. And that's important. It also helps to reduce weight and lowers cholesterol, protects brain tissue from oxidation, protects the brain and liver tissue from damage from excessive use of acetaminophen. This is very, very prevalent in our society today. People love to go jogging, they love to exercise, and then they come back, they feel sore, they take a Tylenol, they take a naproxen, they take an Aleve. Well, all of those things start to break down your brain and liver tissue, and this can help protect. Okay, and as like the others, it will help with major nerve center in the gut. I love cordyceps. Cordyceps, we have it in our Power Chi as well, and we have it in another formula right now. And I love cordyceps because it's great for helping the body be stronger, helps endurance, it helps to lower fatigue, and it helps to raise our metabolic threshold, which means that our body is able to use energy properly. And I love the last point, it enhances heart rate variability, which means that your heart is not pumping too hard. It will help you exercise well and breathe well. And I love that. Also, because it's an adaptogenic mushroom, It will help regulate the immune system. It's anti-inflammatory, it's neuroprotective, helps improve memory impairment, protects our memory, helps us with learning disabilities, can help protect the mucosal gut barrier from toxins, and can decrease signs of kidney distress. And that's, again, important because if we're overusing NSAIDs or any type of pain medication that's over the counter available to us, that will really weaken the body. Anyway, this is the end of the presentation. She says, mushrooms are amazing foods. They help continue the cycle of life by creating useful decay. What a beautiful operation. I love that. I love that humor in her, because if you know anything about mushrooms, you know they grow in the dark from the dung. You know, they take in the decay. And I love how she describes the network called mycelium. That's the underground network that feeds mushrooms. So mushrooms can actually grow like parasites on top of a log. In the case of cordyceps grows on top of a worm. So just think of mushrooms. But some people will just say, well, I don't eat mushrooms because they're fungi. Well, you know what? These mushrooms are the ones you want to steep. If you want to open the capsule actually and drink it with a Soul Clear SI, clears you right up. I love it. It's a great immune builder. I love this product, in case you couldn't tell. But I know for me, Dr. Jenkins was worried about my pain levels because they weren't lowering. And so I started to increase my Solflex PI. But one of the things that I really increased taking, I only take 2 a day, is the NeuroIM. But I noticed that after the fall, even though the doctor said I didn't suffer a full-on concussion, I know that there was some jarring in my brain. And so I started getting forgetting words and stuttering a lot. And I thought, oh, I never do that. So I started to increase my NeuroIM last week. And I went from 2 a day to, I think it's 5 or 6 a day. And I've only done that for a short period of time. But in my webinar that I did last week, I kept having a hard time remembering the word liver. I couldn't remember that. And I don't know if you guys picked up on a couple of words last week that I kept stumbling for. This week I didn't have to stumble. It's just my brain reads faster than my tongue can say. So if I'm reading, I will kind of stutter on that, but I'm not having any problems with recall. And that's really amazing. And I love that. And again, I say who did I go see this week? The orthopedic surgeon, when he just said, man, I can't believe you didn't break anything. And he kept looking at my husband like, you're a lucky guy, because really, I guess I really could have gotten really hurt, but I'm grateful that I didn't. I'm grateful that I have been taking these herbs over the years that have really strengthened my bones and given me a great body response. I'm sure that if I had fallen a little differently, the outcome would have been different. But I know that by God's grace and by treating my body the way I should, by eating the way I should, and using the supplements that I do, I know we've had some amazing results, and I really can't complain. But I love you guys. I'm so glad that you were here this week. I'm grateful for that.